So we're now going to enter the Nunnery Quadrangle from the south. This is a really adept expedition. So we're now going to enter the Nunnery Quadrangle from the south. The south to the Maya represented the Underworld, Xibalba. So let's enter through the south, facing the north. And if you come over here and look up, you'll notice handprints. What do you see? You see red handprints. Red is also symbolic to the Maya of the sun, consciousness. The shaman believed that the handprints had everything in the human body that we needed to connect with the gods, and it was the only part of the human body that could connect with the gods. Some of that red.
Oh, they're up here too. There's one up here.
There's the red, also usually attributed with the east. And so this is the north, this is the east, and this is the west. And this here is the south behind us, and that represents the underworld. So if we step out for a minute, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 entryways representing the 9 levels of the underworld, Xibalba. If we look over here and this is the mother, so this represents the womb, Uxmal. You'll notice over here in the east we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the Maya, that represents the 5 cardinal points. Because for the Maya, it wasn't just 4 cardinal points, there was a center representing energy. It also represents the elements, fire, earth, air. And you'll notice the chalk mask in the middle. And then here to the north. And this, by the way, the east represents the father, cosmic intelligence of the Maya. So the mother representing fertility, the womb, the primordial creation of life. It is with the female and through the female that we can have existence in the first place. It is the female that sustains the man and sustains the gods. And so again, Uxmal is thought to be a place of the divine feminine. The Maya talk about the ancient tradition being this would be a place for female shaman to come, and there would be the phallic symbol here in the middle for fertility. This is the east. We talked about being the father. Here to the west, represented by the sun or by Kukulkan, and we'll see the snake glyph. We'll come up to that in a moment. Here in the north, if you want to look at the doors, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's doors on each side that you can't see. That would equal 12 and 13. So again, 13 heavens represented in the tree, the Maya tree of life. Here, we have Richard Casaro, and that's an interesting point because we have a triptych with the big door in the middle and 2 on the side. But you'll notice we have 1, 2, 3, the big one in the middle, 4, and then 5, 6, 7. 7, a classic number throughout many ancient traditions, a very important number. Why 7 chakras? So we also have the Kundalini energy, the Kundalini serpent, Conch to the Maya represents the serpent. The Maya were known as the people of the serpent, or the serpent people. And so you'll see the snake at the top. And we'll go over in the corner and look at the frieze in a moment. Actually, we'll head over there now. Richard, you want to add anything about the triptych? We talked about this really?
Triptych, Kundalini serpent, like you said. You know, this is stuff that is scattered throughout the site. Serpents, triptychs, balance of opposites, symbols. It's all Mayan, it's all here.
And so there's a legend that the Maya talk about. So in the pre-diluvial civilization, some would refer this as Atlantis. From there came some powerful teachers, some powerful people. One of them, Itzamna, came to the Yucatan. He first came to the Yucatan with a group of people. When he came here, the people asked him, what is the name of this place? He basically told them it is the land of the Maya. And so spell M-A-Y-A-B. Mai, to the Maya people, mean few, as in the chosen few. Yeah, meaning land. So it was the land of the chosen few. and at that time were the followers of Uxmal. Uxmal is also, many cases, attributed to Chak, the rain god, as we see all throughout. I pointed out Chak on the Magician's Pyramid, but we see it all throughout the complexes here. So when the Spanish first came here, and specifically when they went to Cozumel, they noticed in the middle of the temples that they would have these pillars, the phallic symbols, and these crosses. The Maya already had a cross. Sure. The difference was when the Christians came, the Christian missionaries had, the cross that was extended at the bottom. It wasn't balanced. The Maya cross was balanced. And so they would have these set up in a temple, and it's the Waka cross. What do we see right here? You see the cross? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That represents the Waka cross. The ceremony over here, so we see the snake, we see Kukulkan, with the mouth opening with the face coming out. The tail wraps around and intertwines. Where do you see that? The caduceus. Why? The snake represented medicine. The Maya knew the meat of the snake was 100% antioxidant, and it was used in ceremony. So the snake tail intertwines, comes back around, you see 7 rattles. Again, it also represented plenitude, but the 7 chakras. Above it is the urn or the pottery, which the water, and it's actually the steam of the water coming out. Because what's happened is, you see the figure here? Right above the figure we see the jaguar head. Does everybody see that? Mm-hmm. It's like a human figure, and above it is the jaguar. Jaguar to the Maya was a symbol of power. It was also a symbol of the clouds. And below when we see a human figure where the legs are removed and the arms are removed and the penis is perforated. This was done with the bone of a stingray. The fish bone was used, and this would only be a ceremony that the shaman and the elite shaman would perform. And so they would perform this ceremony, and some think this is barbaric, but it's actually very beautiful and poetic, because the blood that would come, they would take and put it on a piece of paper in the urn of the pottery, and they would burn it, and the smoke would go back to the cosmos. And it was the way of the Maya's way of taking the earth, taking a physical thing here on the earth, and giving back to the cosmos. And so the Maya have been known to use mushrooms and other ethnogens, and they know that the snake meat was 100% antioxidant. So the Maya had an understanding of the medicines that they needed to work with during ceremony. And over here you see another chalk mask. This is the temple of Venus. Now Venus is attributed to war, but what else is Venus attributed to? Love. Right. And that is the teaching of this temple of the sacred divine feminine. It is about love and going through the process. You have to first love yourself. You have to know thyself. Man, know thyself. Woman, know thyself. Know thyself, love yourself before you can love others, before you can move up in degrees. So initiates would come here to learn Hermetic principles. Later we call it Hermeticism, but to know thyself and to love thyself, because you have to cleanse and purify thyself before you can go on and learn more degrees. Now, a lot of researchers say Kukulkan was a person, a man that came, and they're having people attributed to that deity. It's also a principle in nature, like the Egyptians have the netters, and Hollywood will call them gods, the Egyptian gods, but they were netters, the neteru, nature principles, aspects of nature. It's the same thing that happens here with the Maya. And Kukulkan, the ancient oral tradition, they talk about Kukulkan actually being degrees of consciousness. So you'd come to the university, you would learn this teaching by examining the temples, interacting with the temples. You hear the echo? Interacting with the temples, the sound, the vision, engaging all of the senses to really take in the understandings and the teachings before moving up in degrees. The next section, we'll get to the ball court. There's another powerful lesson in the ball court, and there's a lot to be said about that.